Underdog Daily with Mad Bros, Jon and Nez hanging out from the People Black and Yellow Dog app. And when you're hot, you're hot. There's no reason to get hot because you simply stay hot out here. The boys get another core pick 'em home last night. Felt so good to do so. Score one, a rare dub here, Nez. Rare dub for East Coast dads last night, not having to watch the end of Chargers and Raiders there, getting to go to bed early. A rare win for the East Coast there, that the good game was the first game.
I mean, they still stayed up. I think it's more of an L that they stayed up and watched a terrible game.
That's true. I thought they
I did not expect to be terrible. Yeah, they could have. If they were smart, they would have. But I thought that was going to be a much better game. Jeez Louise, man. I think they need to stop giving Pete Carroll games past his bedtime, man. That's what I think.
Nice. Yeah.
Some of these decisions my man was making, extremely concerning. Extremely concerning.
Man. The field goals in this era. Like you take like a
that's
9
just one part.
Right, yeah. But the field goal in the second half there after like the 10-minute drive and you're still down 2 scores after you kick the field goal was like, oh my God, you took 10 minutes off the clock and you're still down 2 scores. What are we doing?
And then you let the clock run out at the end of the third instead of running a play. That's the most no-brainer. Like anybody that's played Madden in their life, that is like bar low minimum. You run a fucking play before the clock goes to 0, but that's not a Geno thing. Like Geno was bad. That's like Chip Kelly not getting the call to Geno in time enough for him to snap the ball. Because Geno's not dilly-dallying. He's aware. He's barking at Pete for his knucklehead decisions. He played like shit, don't get me wrong, but man, he's clearly frustrated from what I can tell.
Yeah.
So many baffling decisions, man. I mean, we're not using Ashton Genty in the 2-minute drill. We're not using him on he must have did something to get put in the doghouse, or they just decided you know what? I forgot about Dylan Laube. We got to get Dylan Laube in the game.
They had a 4th down, I think, where Laube was on the field, and it was like, okay, I guess.
Yeah. And they threw the ball to him.
Mm-hmm.
Why? How is he a better fit for that play to convert a 4th down than the guy who cannot be tackled? I just not. Or that you just so much. Yeah.
Or that you just spent all the draft capital in the world on the guy that 100%. You thought was worthy of the draft capital. Yeah.
100%. That is on you at that point to use him. It makes no sense. And yes, I had a lot of Genty last night, but I don't have a lot in best ball, so I'm frustrated in that regard. But it's just a no-brainer. It's a no-brainer to use that guy. Very confusing coming off the usage that he came off week 1 into this week. I mean, potential buy low opportunity on the Raiders, but goddamn, that was an awful prime time showing by everybody involved.
One big one that, we'll talk about it this week when we talk about the Chargers a whole bunch here is throws of 10 plus air yards, 0 for 11 for Geno with 3 interceptions. Man, we might just be putting some respect on this Chargers defense name going forward here. Derwin James played out of his mind, especially at the tail end of that ball game last night. So, I don't know. That'll be an interesting one to debate and discuss as we break into this week's slate. First game, definitely interesting. Some good scoring drives early there, then some blunders and some mistakes at the end there. A couple fumbles, a blocked punt. Baker tried to fumble the game away, and Rachaad White was the hero to fall on that one just to get a punt blocked thereafter. I think we were pretty directionally accurate with some of those good plays. Shepard played a good amount and had a good role there. Miller had the touchdown catch there. Not Scotty Miller, but Ryan Miller, even though they look the exact fucking same and run the exact same route there. That's kind of where I would thought Cade Otton would be winning on the field, but they're going 3-4 wide receiver sets there, and he's out there for that one. Pretty good on the Stingley shadowing call there. That like Mike Evans still gets his, but it was definitely a tough matchup. Love some of those schemed design stuff for Ibuka. Like the little dump off stuff, the little screen. He got a carry as well. So yeah, just fun ball game. The first one I thought like definitely a down the tail stretch there. That one.
Yeah, I didn't get to watch that one. I was keeping up with like the game on my phone, but I didn't get to actually see much of that. But it played how I expected to in the second half, which was nothing. There was just nothing doing at all. But it started off fireworks, man. You get the Ibuka screen, you get the Nico insane toe drag there. I was like, oh, he's out. Like what are we doing? He was for sure out, and I didn't even notice he got that last foot in. That was an insane catch. But yeah, I mean, it's definitely premature to get bearish on the Bucs offense, but definitely a little concerning, the first two games there to get off to the start they did. But Texans are a very good defense. But the Texans offense, once again, another bad showing, and that I do have some pretty strong concerns with. But maybe Christian Kirk's the skeleton key. Who knows? He should be back next week. We'll find out.
Yeah. There you go. Bucs is interesting because Bucky had some big plays. Rachaad White had some big plays. They both scored pretty well in our game. Ibuka's usage, especially in like the creative manners, has been pretty encouraging. Like Mike Evans has had like tough matchups, so he just hasn't found the end zone there yet. Like, yeah, we're not seeing like the 303 Baker games yet, but like, man, they're still scoring points, and they're still scoring points offensively in potentially two matchups that we'll look back in 10 weeks and be like, yeah, Falcons and Texans defenses are actually way nicer than we gave them credence before the season started,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I'm definitely keeping my eye open on the Falcons. I feel pretty confident that the Texans are a good defense, but Falcons I'm definitely like paying close attention to. They added that rookie Watts, who does seem like, alongside AJ Terrell, that could be pretty problematic. And if they somehow, I'm not convinced that they have a real pass rush, but if they do have an above average pass rush to go along with that, they have my respect.
Cool. Yeah, no. One thing that my Madden bro brain was going off with is Nick Chubb scores a 21-yard rushing touchdown to put them up 19-14, and they obviously go for two after. Don't get it, but they go up 19-14. 2 minutes and 15 seconds left. Both teams still have 3 timeouts left. Right?
So
Should Chubb go down in that spot, or you just score because everybody's got timeouts left?
What was the margin again?
It was, after he scored, it was 19-14. So it was 13. It was 14-13. And they were in field goal range, and it's 2 minutes, 15 seconds left, and both teams 3 timeouts. I don't know, man. Like, if I'm playing Madden at home and I'm like getting super sweaty about it, I think, I don't know, man. It was a weird spot. And then he scores. They almost stopped the Bucs once the Bucs got the ball back. But yeah.
I'm not sure. Like I said, I wasn't watching that game, so I don't know like the timeout situation or anything. But I think more often than not,
3.
Nah.
Yeah.
Well,
it's weird. I don't know. It's just one of those ones I hadn't thought about yet.
I think at that point you go for the touchdown.
Yeah.
And
the scoring is correct with 3 and the timeout
with the new kickoff rules, you can get into field goal range like it's nothing.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Anyways, that was crazy. And it literally took a heroic 4th and 10 play from Baker to even keep that drive alive to come back. Like, he wiggled out of the pocket, broke off a run for like 10 yards. And like that game could have effectively ended if Baker doesn't make that one play. Yeah. Anyways, let's go into the slate from last night there. Take a peek. Another weird slate. I got some Winhursts here, but another weird slate where like those top end draft picks don't matter other than Bucky Irving. You scroll down a little bit, like Nico and Bucky, if you were able to get it together. ends up mattering. If you could have gotten it, but you also you needed to go the quarterback route, and we're kind of like not quarterback guys around here. We were doing a lot of like wait till Geno and that sort of thing. But in the two main contests here, shout out to Dustin Odell here. He's got that Baker one with Rachaad White as the scroll you needed, but then that was all you needed from the Tampa side. And then you get Nico, Chubb, QJ, and Dalton Schultz. So not a team that like on paper you would have been jumping up and down to chase. Not one that would project amazingly, but it's unduped and it takes down a 10K and it's unique. Like just fucking love to see it here. Opening up our third eye.
Yeah, dude. I love it. The 44% scroll here with Rachaad White. You were all over that, man. Hats off to you. I was nowhere near any of these slates. The Sunday Night Football to Monday Night Football. The Monday Night Football, I got pretty well rinsed. So, congrats to Dustin here. This is a sweet team.
Yeah, it's just like it's interesting to see like an entirely logically built team. Like maybe 3 Houston pieces is not what I would do like mentally if I was in the draft room. But if Schultz came back to me, I think I would just tack him on because he was projecting so much better than the other tight ends. But like when you look at it, it makes sense. It's a game environment play from the first one. Rachaad White, we know, can catch some passes and whatnot. They're tethered to Baker. You don't pinpoint the wide receiver that you need. And then you just need QJ from the other game environment. It's very interesting, man. I don't know. I don't want to be results oriented.
But this is like what I've been trying to do. Not like build that exact team, but like kind of like what I was saying yesterday. I probably end up with, and why I don't win in this one is I wasn't taking a lot of Baker at his ADP. I was opting for, Stroud and Geno at their ADPs. I didn't think there was a big difference, but I'm like, this is like what I'm doing basically is just like jamming in, good plays. And if it doesn't correlate, it doesn't correlate, Okay. I'm not overly concerned.
Yeah. Yeah. And then the knockout one after here, Go Hards takes it down. And this was a CJ team. So punting the quarterback position, didn't need to spend up. I think these leaderboards would have looked a lot different if Justin Herbert didn't get given the fumble and the fumble loss at the end of that ball game on the handoff to Omari and Hampton. I thought it was a Hampton fumble. I didn't think it was a Justin Herbert fumble. Herbert gets the stat correction, and now you're seeing a lot of Herbert not in there. So what you're seeing is a lot of Chargers, and then, that combination of Chubb and White, but then Chargers wide receivers getting home, but not with Herbert, even though Herbert outscored him because he didn't separate as greatly on the slate. So nice lineup from Go Hards here. Kind of a contrarian, Stroud plus Chubb thing. Was probably trying to set something else up, got sniped, and then got left with the last quarterback kind of deal.
Yeah. Again, like I have no problem with this type of build on a primetime palooza. I like when these type of lineups win. Very obtainable. Man, Bowers, he was full decoy on top of the fact that they couldn't do anything. Still ending up on the winning lineup is pretty funny. I don't know, man. I don't think from what I saw in real time, I don't think Herbert should have been given that fumble, but
yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah, that's how I felt.
That's a bad break. That's a bad break.
Yeah, it was a bad break for some of those Herbert double stack teams that could have potentially won out without Nick Chubb. Basically, was kind of like the flippening because like then Chubb was the have to have it piece in the third round. Yada yada. Sam Olsen, can he stop winning? Did he win again last night? I did not see what he potentially won last night there. I know he won the 7th inning stretch, our guy there. I like this shout. The way Baker plays just makes him one of my favorite players in the NFL. I got a big soft spot for Baker, like in a big way. Getting cut by the Panthers, playing on 2 days notice for the Rams, and then kind of like completely 180ing his career and image in Tampa Bay after that. It's just, I have a soft spot for him.
He's a cool story, man. And yeah, I like him.
Nez, I really want to hit on this, and this is just kind of my gal brain take of the day. Bound is saying that I would never have landed on this team, and that's kind of how I felt about all the teams at the top of the board here for the Monday night. And I want to know if this is a bubble thing. You know, you see a bunch of non-Badgers, you see a bunch of black and white Badgers up here. You don't see some of the usual suspects. I have this deep, dirty, dark secret in the back of my mind that I've been keeping to myself, you know? And I think I'm ready to say it, okay? As our bubble grows, as the information around these games grow, there is reason to flip the pendulum the complete opposite way. And there's room for a disruptor in this space, a very talented, smarter than I player to come in here and reinvent the wheel, because we have come to a point where our niche bubble and our show and the shows around us all talk very similarly. We talk all about the same plays. We talk all about the same forecasting of ADPs on the Battle Royale slates and this sort of thing. And on the off weeks that the chalk does not hit, i.e. everything we talk about there is room for a different play style, a different disruptor in the space to come in here and beat the shit out of these games in a different way. Can you foresee this happening?
I guess I don't know exactly what it would look like. I don't know.
I don't know yet either. I'm not smart enough. That's the precursor. I don't know what it would look like.
Pull up the winning lineup. Unless he was talking about the other lineup.
He was referring to this one.
Who was his second round pick?
Yeah. There's a great question. Nick Chubb at 10. Baker at 2. Baker at 2. Who was his first round pick?
Baker.
That's what I mean. Who was his first round pick? He got 2 second round picks on the team. So, I mean, this is just Primetime Palooza specific here, where it's we talk about it. If everyone at the top of the board fails and it's kind of fragile, that nobody's going to have access to these weird combos other than the people who, quote unquote, don't know what they're doing. But that's not a way I would teach someone how to draft. But is there value in drafting that way?
A couple times, I guess. I mean,
yeah,
that is purely results oriented for sure. If you want to carve out 5 lineups of first round fails and potentially give somebody a super team that nobody else can obtain regularly and give someone else access to the shipper, that's not how I would really ever play.
Right.
I think there's better ways to do this. Shout out to Dustin, but much better ways to accomplish that, in my opinion. I don't know. I do think that there is definitely space for I really want to build a simulation for Primetime Paloozas. I think it's really easy to do. I think you can get good results from it, and because you can basically hand pick some of these lineups that you can obtain. I think it'd be really interesting to do. I just need to get to it.
Yeah, no, very cool stuff. Interesting stuff here. Yeah, I mean, Bound brings up another good point that it's just everybody's got their fingers on the same hashtag models. We talk about it in the masterclass there about the ETR effect on the market and stuff like that. So yeah, I don't know. It's interesting. Yeah, play bad or run bad, or did he play good and do something that nobody else was doing? So just the fact that he was doing something different than everybody else is doing, is it playing good or is it just playing bad? I don't know. Right now we're kind of in this cash game mindset of well, you just build the highest projecting teams and then hope they win kind of thing. Whereas we need the next step, the next evolution. I don't know, maybe something to talk about in the anti-masterclass.
Yeah, I don't think we need to. Yeah, you don't. There's never a time where you need to draft Baker too.
Sure. But if you just take that out of the equation, just say he did Nico 2, which is totally fine, and then took Baker at 7. Just flip those two ADPs.
Yeah, then that becomes better for sure.
Yeah, this is kind of Melch is saying where my line of thinking comes from is like we basically saw this in poker. Like we saw everybody become a tag and chisel margins against each other and push rake in circles until guys became elite at the game and built the sims is basically what happened. Anyways,
I think if you play PTP ranked by projection, you're bad. I just very bluntly, I think that is a very bad way to play PTP.
Okay. Cool. Guys, speaking of masterclass for a second here, just want to hit on one last thing here. Updated that contest selection section, but I did add another update this morning at the base here. It's just a Google Doc that you guys can have access to there, and it will update weekly with all the contest offerings on the site. So you can then go ahead and look at some of your bankroll stuff in tandem with that. So just wanted to let everybody know that it's there. Nez, let's flip the script. Let's talk a little baseball today, man. Been a minute since we talked baseball. We got an 11-game slate on the site here. We got a Coors Field game. And then we can talk a little pennant, hop in a couple drafts here. Going to try and keep this one a little tighter than usual today, guys. Both Nez and I got some real world shit going on today, and we got plenty more shows coming up this week to discuss. But hopped in there this morning, did a couple. I was shocked by the price of all the Coors Field bats. I know that there's some decent pitching at Coors Field this evening by Coors Field standards, but was shocked to see that the Marlins are buried. Maybe it's partly because of all the Q tags on the slate there, but I don't know. What's just kind of like your macro diving back into an 11 gamer here, Nez?
Let me pull up. I had the Sims from BPP pulled up, but yeah, I mean, the Marlins and Rockies don't like that game isn't necessarily like jumping out to me, just based on like run totals and stuff. So, I mean, I think the field is sharp by not having those ADPs like overly inflated. That game could get crazy, but I think it makes a lot of sense. The Marlins are in terrible shape right now. They have been for a while. So it doesn't necessarily surprise me that they don't look good against Kyle Freeland, who, is better than the Marlins lineup. But that's not saying a ton.
Yeah, I mean, for sure. Freeland had a decent start. Was it 2 times ago out when everybody played the shit out of him against San Diego? Yeah, I think it was 2 times ago out. San Diego at home, and he struck him out 10 times and went 8 innings in that one when everybody jammed San Diego bats.
That's
and when
amazing.
I jammed all those San Diego bats to smash in the dinger, that was the thesis that Kyle Freeland would come out and strike him out 10 fucking times. One of the hardest lineups in baseball to strike out. So Kyle Freeland still got a little bit of that juice in him.
That's incredible. I did not know that.
Yeah, a couple macros on the slate here. Guys, we are pushing into the portion of the season where teams are going to be clinching, and then you're going to get really funky lineups the following day, especially if they're on the road. So right now, like today, like Phillies are going against Shohei Ohtani today. Not the best spot in the world. Like, it's a decent place to hit home runs, but like there are Phillies bats going every single draft, and Kyle Schwarber has a top 6 ADP. There's a non-zero chance that today's lineup for the Phillies has no Harper, no Schwarber, no Turner. Like we see this year after year where they bench everybody. Now, maybe they leave Schwarber in because he's one home run away from the home run race against Kyle Raleigh. But just put it on your radar that as these teams are clinching or vying to clinch, they tend to sit guys the following day. So that's just a little ball knowers angle to this evening and to the next couple, weeks worth of slates here.
Yeah, those guys are for sure hungover as hell.
Yeah. It's a long fucking season. They got to celebrate that one.
Yeah, I mean, first team to clinch, they're partying.
Yeah. So do with that what you will there. I think we used this narrative one time with Embiid as well. And he went from no designation to Q tag to doubtful to never mind, I'm playing, and then didn't even really play. I vividly remember a slate like that, but that's neither here nor there. Yeah, Nez. So let's just look at the macros here. Unabated, lines. Everything's hovering, 8, 8.5, 8.5. As you noted, that Coors Field isn't necessarily Coors Field standards. It's just a 10.5. It is the highest on the slate, but it's only a 10.5. It's interesting that Dodgers and Phillies are chalk because of how good their lineups are. Mookie Betts has really turned it around, and it's a fun baseball game. But good pitching on both sides of that one, and only a 7.5 here, despite all those bats getting drafted. So that was a soft fade spot for me initially. No real weather concerns, potentially a little bit of a delay in Kansas City there. It's also a bad park to go to for strikeouts. Logan Gilbert is SP2 on the slate, but it's one of the worst parks in all of baseball for strikeouts. So I don't know how you necessarily feel about that one, especially if there's a little risk of in-game delay there. But that was kind of just my macro notes before we go into isolated totals.
Yeah, no, I think you covered it pretty well. For me, this is just going to be the most like evergreen slate ever for me. I'm doing what I've been doing the last 2 weeks. I was playing baseball today, so excited to talk about that.
We got Rays at home with the small park there. Kind of looks like the second best hitting environment on the slate outside of Coors Field there, and nobody's really getting to the Rays. I'm not exactly a Jose Barrios respector, so that might be a little spot to get to that the field is not. Just kind of bring up some of these potential hitting conditions, courtesy of the ballpark, pal. Here, Steinbrenner playing up for home runs, Dodger Stadium playing up for home runs, and Coors Field just kind of like popping across the hashtag models there. Any thoughts on that?
For which spot was that? I was looking at some projections.
Any and all, but I was referring more to Tampa Bay.
I mean, Tampa is like evergreen for us.
Yep.
Not a whole lot of spots outside of Tampa and Coors that are like, oh yeah, like got to get here. For the most part, it's a bunch of not great spots to hit in, truthfully.
Yeah. East Coast is definitely cooling down too, like just in general, like, like Citi Fields, high 60s, that sort of thing. Tampa still up in that 80-degree range. Kansas City still up in that 80-degree range, and Minnesota playing up in that 84 degrees. So that ballpark usually plays better on the pitching side of the equation, but you got two highly volatile arms there, big strikeout rate guys, both right-handed, but also with some lineups that give up or arms that give up big time pop to left-handed power that could play up in target field there in Minnesota with 84 degrees there.
Yeah, that's my spot. That's my spot.
Yeah,
today for sure.
Yeah, interesting leverage too, because both Cam Schittler and Zebby Matthews get drafted, but Cam definitely more so than Zebby. Yeah,
I like Schittler for sure.
Yep.
But yeah, I'm really looking at those Yankees today. That's like definitely what I'll be doing.
Okay. Cool. Some other just like random shit I've been noticing. It's warm in St. Louis, not a place that we usually go to for bats, but if you want to attack Michael McGreevy there, Sal Stewart has been fucking mashing since getting called up for the Reds. So I don't know, man. Ellie hasn't hit a home run in like 2 months. Kind of crazy. He doesn't steal bases anymore either.
Dude, it's been a weird second half, has it not?
Yeah.
Like I'm not alone in thinking that.
No, not at all, man.
Yeah, it's been pretty bizarre, which makes, we'll get to the pennant, but it makes that even a difficult, exercise too at the moment. It's always hard to do that early, but yeah, kind of weird.
Yeah, absolutely. Nez, looking at some of the implied totals on the slate here, Arizona kind of popping off a little bit more than you would have thought before there. Arizona sneaky in the hunt, I guess you could say. Sneaky in the hunt, I guess. I don't think so, but yeah. Giants with a decent total there. Both of those trumping that of Miami there. Yankees with the highest on the slate here at that 5-7-9, kind of evergreen with the left-handed pop that they have on a flatter slate. Mariners are scorching hot, 9 in a row there, have a decent total there. Cal Raleigh in the thick of things of the home run race there. Yeah, anyone else you want to kind of point out here in terms of implied totals?
I mean, the Giants and D-backs for sure, pops. And like you mentioned, and I'm definitely guilty of looking that way pretty hard. The ADPs for Arizona today it's not that bad either. Like you can really get to these guys pretty easily. Since August 1st, Geraldo Perdomo, one of the best hitters in baseball, 174 WRC plus during that time. He's got an OPS of 989 during that time. Wow. I mean, started off as like a results merchant, like a counting stats merchant, and has since just like continued to be a dude. ADP 20 today against Seymour for the Giants. Yeah, that's like the most like Giants pitcher last name I've ever heard. Seymour.
Yeah, I see it an opener and then Seymour, I think, is what's going down here.
Got it.
Yeah. Not that it matters really.
Yeah, either way. No, thank you to that guy. But yes, please to Arizona. And then I got to think more about these Giants, man. The Giants showing up with a big total here. The highest ADP for the Giants today is Ramos at 25. The rest are free. So that seems like a very fun one to get to.
Yeah, no, I like that. Yeah, Jay Witz, anytime Perdomo has a top 10 ADP, I'll full fading and he keeps smashing. Yeah, man. Like,
dude, isn't that the worst?
It's crazy right now, man. It's crazy. Like there's just so many times in baseball where you just like, oh yeah, I can't capitulate to the field or the recency of results. And then it keeps going down. Like this D-backs team is they're a game and a half out right now, Nez. Like this time of year, I do really like to look for like teams that are playing for something. Just because I know that there's less pinch hit risk. I know that the lineup is going to be trying harder, like that sort of deal. And they're going to give like their A effort each night. Like this lineup, man, they give up Suarez, they give up Naylor, they trade away some bullpen arms at the deadline, and they just kind of like slap together like Blaze Alexander and Jake McCarthy come back up, and Gabriel Moreno gets healthy. And all of a sudden it's like, oh yeah, we're still a game out of the playoffs somehow. Like it's pretty funny just how Arizona finds a way to be there. And they play in such a tough division too. It's crazy year after year now.
I know, dude. It's they're an interesting team. I was rooting for them to sticker to like, be competitive again because they did make some big time moves. And, I always respect that from teams because you don't see that a lot in baseball. Right. But hopefully they'll bounce back soon. But they're hanging tough, man. Yeah, like you said, they're not giving up.
Back-to-back years, they've given the bag to a starting pitcher too, who's just kind of shot them in the dick, like the Corbin Burns one and Jordan Montgomery the year before. So they're like clearly going for it. They're not afraid to spend money, even though their division's tough, and then they keep getting bit by it. It's it's a little bit like the reverse Baltimore situation.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Never Gumby, I think, is the takeaway there.
That's nice. Never Gumby. Actually, pour one out for Gumby, who had one of the worst eliminator losses I've seen. Guys, I put a thread out there this morning on the X machine. If you guys have bad eliminator losses, I need to see them. Place them below there. I need to see these things.
What was his?
Like 151 or 152. Yeah. Like it was the
Wow.
second biggest one I had seen.
That's brutal. Holy shit.
Nez, any bats that you want to point out here before we get into like the pitching? Like I found myself going to the Brewers a little bit. I thought some of the auxiliary Brewers were priced down. Like Jackson Churio and Christian Yelich have big ADPs, but nobody else does. The next guy up is Rake Bowers. Rake Bowers has been good since he came back from the IL, but I thought he was a little overpriced. You know, I did a couple like Willem Contreras, Bryce Terang's moved down in the order to a point, like a good point where he can actually drive in some runs now. And he's been, you know, a little bit on a power surge the last 2 months. So I've been doing a little bit of that. You know, Colson Montgomery just continues to hit home runs, even though, you know, the White Sox have cooled off a little bit. You could do a little bit of sneaky stuff there. Anyone that's jumping out to you? I mean, we got 22 teams to choose from today.
Yeah, like I said, my chalk, my 101 stack is Yankees against Zebby. It's just simply Yankees versus a righty for me has been very successful in putting me over the cash line. So that's been my main target. Other games that I am into is definitely like you highlighted Brewers against Angels. For sure into that one, man. They've got Caden Dana on the mound today, and I liked Caden Dana a lot when he was coming up through their organization in the draft. I thought he was like a really exciting right-hander, but he's just not ready yet, and they've kind of like really kind of botched his what's the word I'm looking for? Development in the majors there. So I'm assuming they're going to try to get him to throw as much as he can because he was drafted to be a starter. Let me see if has he like pitched into games yet.
I'm not sure.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. He threw 5 innings against Kansas City.
Yep.
And then he racked up 9 Ks against the Twins. Okay. So he's going to pitch. Yeah, that never before seen. So I really like the Brewers because we know how terrible Angels bullpen is, and all they got to do is just get to Caden Dana in the first 2 or 3 innings, make them work, and then it's lights out. So yeah, I'm with you on the Brewers call. That seems like a really fun low owned team to get to. You're looking at some decently high ADPs in Churio and Yelich, of course, but after that, it's pick your poison.
Love it. Okay, cool. Yeah, best team in the NL right now. They're going to keep pushing to ensure that they get, you know, home field throughout kind of thing. So no worry about the sitting stuff with the Brewers lineup there. They already clinched. I think it was on Saturday they clinched. So I think we're probably in the clear to expect.
Yeah, they want that division spot, like you said, or the top record.
Yeah. Yeah, anybody else? Some macro notes here. Will Smith was moved to the IL. I think that was 2 days ago now for the Dodgers there. So just be mindful of that. It will be lefty for rushing. So maybe we get something different at the catcher spot for the Dodgers today. Probably not playing it anyways. It's the bottom of the order on a slate like this. Yeah, Miami has a whole bunch of guys coming back from the IL. So when you were poo-pooing on the Miami lineup, in the back of my head, I was like, dude, we might get better today. We might get better because I was drafting some Miami to start the day here. Like I'm expecting Dane Myers back today. I'm expecting Connor Norby, Eric Wagaman, and then Xavier Edwards, who missed 2 games over the weekend with a wrist, is probably back in there leading off. So, you know, I'm a little more bullish on Marlins righties in particular than maybe you were. Yeah, who else am I looking for here? Yordan Alvarez, pour one out. This Astros stuff is going south in a hurry. Yordan on a play that should have never fucking happened. It was like a little nubber back to the pitcher. Pitcher overthrows first base. Yordan, then who's jogging from second to third, now is forced to turn the corner, go full sprint, and he doesn't slide. He doesn't anything for a play that wasn't really a play at the plate. Lunges, snaps the ankle over. He's in a boot now, MRI today. He will not be in the lineup today. So we will not be playing much of the Astros today unless you just want leverage there. But they're right in the thick of things. versus the Mariners, but Astros and Mariners going in opposite directions right now. Yeah.
What do you think about Mariners tonight?
Pardon me?
What do you think about the Mariners tonight? They're pretty big favorites.
Yeah, I mean, they're just like a team you can always play. Like, I just don't love that ballpark for hitting home runs. And like, home runs are just so much that matter on our site. I think they're better used as like 2-man stacks, like 3-mans. I don't think I'll be onslaughting them tonight. I think this, if you want to mix in like, Raleigh and Julio and Raleigh and Suarez or Raleigh and Naylor, like absolutely, like just go for it. But like, I don't think there'll be like a huge portion of what I do this evening.
Yeah, I get it. Right. Like Waka's not terrible, but
yeah,
like I tend to avoid Waka for sure, but he's definitely, tailed off big time in the second half here. Raleigh high ADP like you would expect, but like everybody else pretty easily obtainable. So yeah, not bad.
Yeah, good shouts there. Who else was I looking at earlier? Jay Witz, hasn't it played up for runs? Yeah, Kaufman always plays up for run scoring, dude. It always plays up. Like the last 3 years, especially this time of year when it's hotter, it plays way up for gap to gap power and plays way up for run scoring. So it is like, traditionally speaking, it's a park that you'd want to stack because you'd want to encapsulate all of those run scoring opposed to just the isolated home runs. But yeah, it's just, I'm not jumping up and down to slam against Waka. But the splits on Waka, as you noted, Nez, like back half of the season, he's been considerably worse than he was at the front end.
Exactly. That's exactly what I'm looking at is those last 30, those last few starts there are pretty bad. And he's up there in age. You can easily make the theory that he's tailing off due to his age and just like the Royal season, just kind of like going downward. So yeah, the Mariners stick out to me as well.
Sounds good. Thinking about Blue Jays this evening, any interest there in going to the small park in Steinbrenner? Ryan Pepio's been really effing good and been good at home, especially the last 3 times out. He hasn't allowed an earned run in, I think, 18 innings, something like that. So yeah, Pepio, professional ass, right-handed pitcher. But yeah, Blue Jays without Bo Bichette, he's most likely moving to the IL, I believe, or has already been placed on the IL. But that introduces a whole bunch of lefties in that lineup. George Springer, I think there's only one player in baseball, in the American League. No, sorry, in all of baseball. There's only 2 players in all of baseball that have a better WOBA than him. And I believe it's Judge and Ohtani, not even Cal Raleigh. I think George Springer has the 3rd best WOBA in all of baseball. I heard on a broadcast the other night.
I mean,
it's fucking crazy, man. He's
what do you even do with that?
I don't know.
Like, what do you literally? What do you do with that? Like that information? Like, how do you can't? Like, I guess you can. I'm just trying to think about how I could have possibly gotten on more George Springer this year in the Dinger, and like, I don't know, man. He looked. I mean, we have 2 years of him being not good.
Yeah,
and not even hurt, just not good.
Yeah, I was a big proponent of pass on Springer and backstack Varsho in the Dinger streets when you had those Vlad teams, especially those Vlad late 2nd round teams or whatever. Anyways, crazy, man. I've never seen anything like it for like a 36-year-old guy to just go full career arc resurgence, hit 309 and hit 30 bombs as a leadoff guy. Like, it's just fucking nuts.
It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. I mean, there's just nothing else you can say. It's so baseball. I don't know how, like, I just don't know how you could have possibly have seen this coming. I don't think it was possible.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Anybody else you want to point out here, Nez? Yeah. 3rd. Sorry, I'm just checking my math here. 3rd highest WOBA in all of baseball. These are the names. You ready for these names?
I don't think so.
Judge, Otani, Springer, Schwarber, Soto, Raleigh, Guerrero, Ketel Marte, Perdomo, Buxton, Carroll. 3 Arizona bats in the top 11, and Springer's littered in there, and Perdomo's littered in there with perennial all-stars and MVP candidates.
That's some goofy shit, man.
That's crazy, man.
That is some goofy shit.
Yeah. I guess we could talk about the pitchers here, Nez. Freddie Peralta jumping off the page because the Angels struck out, I think it was 68 times in a 4-game series versus the Mariners over the weekend here. 68 times. Just incredible there. So good plus matchup for righties against scuffling Angels right now, though we know the Angels can run into power, but left-handed power plays better in that park than right-handed power for what it's worth. So yeah, if you're playing Angels, it's basically only for the double bubble leverage. They're one of the lowest totals on the slate here. Christopher Sanchez has been amazing. Logan Gilbert's been better on the road than at home. Been better at home than on the road, and he gets a park that is very bad for strikeouts and pretty good for run scoring. So I'm a little bit lower on this than that. Cam Schittler introduces some high strikeout rate variance. What do you like, dude?
Yeah, I think Freddie Peralta is a great pitcher today, obviously, but like I always struggle taking a pitcher this high in drafts. But if you're auto drafting, yeah, I think you put Peralta up there pretty high and just feel okay about it. I think in terms of at cost, like I'm not going to be paying that cost for Freddie Peralta. I'd probably put him more like 6, maybe put Logan Gilbert 7. Sanchez is interesting because I do worry about his win equity, but he's a great pitcher, and we don't really have you don't have to be super fearful of the Dodgers. He's going to put up a decent score. I don't think he's just that good.
Yeah.
The one pitcher that I think could really have a nice start here, and could definitely look bad and whatnot, but I like Merrill Kelly today a lot. Okay. I think he's like an awesome break glass pitcher today against the Astros.
Yeah, watered down iteration of the Astros lineup incoming for sure too. Just with knowing that Jordan is out there, so good shouts there. To double down on the Christopher Sanchez stuff, you might see more lefties than usual in that lineup, and as long as you kind of fade Betts, who's been scorching hot, and Teo, who's a lefty killer there, like Pages is, we used to think of him as a lefty killer, but he's actually been kind of neutral. Maxey worse against lefties. Otani slightly worse against lefties, but also is pitching today. Yeah, so I like those shouts, dude. ADP low key kind of efficient here though, huh?
It seems like it.
Yeah.
It seems like it. Good.
I think there's a hot debate here, Nez, for like SP 6 through 12. I think there's a lot that interests me here on the redacted sites. I think this would be a slate that I would be doing the spend down to some of these middling arms and just, taking a peek here at some ceilings. Yuri Perez has definitely a big time ceiling against a high strikeout lineup, but it can go south in a hurry in Coors there. So I would probably be fading this if he's locked in as SP6 and going to be like greater than 60% drafted. I would probably go searching for someone else down here. Like we've seen big time K rates from Erod. We know there's a little bit of a watered down Toronto lineup for Pepio. Andrew Abbott, people forget, was an all-star and is pretty decent. And the Cards lineup isn't great. So that would actually be an interesting scroll for me. Just thoughts. Michael King, tough lineup, obviously, but the Mets have been scuffling and good place to pitch. If they let him go full, he went up to 5 last time out.
No, I think the only thing that I would be looking at is what are your thoughts on Dean Kramer? You got no problem with that?
I think I'd rather play the bats, but I think it's an entirely fine click.
Yeah, that'd be like my only suggestion if I needed to get someone down here. Otherwise, I'm looking at these top 5 and ended up with one of them in every draft.
Okay. So you're going to be concentrated around the top end.
Yeah.
I think that speaks volumes to the ambiguity of like 6 through 12.
For sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely. I don't really have a lot of interest in finding out which one of those guys is a good pick, just because I've got concerns and way less concerns about these guys that we have queued.
Sounds good to me. All right, Nez. You already said Yankees favorite stack on the slate. Anyone else you want to shout out as we hop in?
No, I think we kind of covered all of the good stacks in terms of chalk that are not even like that chalky, but Yankees, Mariners, Blue Jays, even though it's against Pepio, but just like that park is like nice. And then Diamondbacks, man, look pretty solid.
Okay, cool. I like it. Yeah, Diamondbacks sound good to me. As we roll the 105 in this draft here, this is kind of the Schwarber spot. I think if I had to, gun to my head, which Philly plays baseball today, I don't really want any Phillies in my life today. I'm not going to lie. I'm way down on this Phillies-Dodgers game comparative to the field, and I'm scared about who's going to be in there, as I said. If I had to pinpoint the one dude who may play today, I think it would be Schwarber, just for the home run race equity.
Right.
But I don't think I think we're getting off days for Harper and Turner and probably Realmuto. Yeah, I think we're going to get Harrison Bader leading off again, who continues to lead off now, even not against lefties, which is good to see for his value. I've always been a long-term Harrison Bader believer.
That is your guy. That is, in fact, your guy.
Oh, all right. Let's check this out. Chris is in here with us. Vivank, who had a nice cash. I think it was last night or 2 nights ago in the Primetime Palooza, had a good cash there. I have noticed, guys, this is ebbs and flows of the site. And this is something that I would like to, we give this guy so much glaze, but Sam Olson, man, he is so good at finding like the niche spots on this site to win. He was a late slate only basketball, not only, but like he was a late slate king for a while there. Nez, you want to do the Arizona stuff? You seemed interested in the Arizona stuff.
Yeah. I think Carroll's a good pick, and then just immediately take Marte, or maybe take a pitcher. Actually, Marte might come back.
Let's do Marte and see what happens.
All right,
push the envelope here. Yeah, and Chris could just go ahead and put 260 home run guys together here. That seems not like a bad idea. He goes the Miami route. Not the guy that I would start with for Miami.
He's just going top of the order.
Yeah, my cover boy today was Agustin Ramirez. There, I think he's probably my favorite guy. He's cooled off a little bit, but he's probably my favorite guy against a lefty today. Kind of like Otto Lopez too. There goes Ramirez. There you go. There's some ball knowing.
Yeah, we like Augustine. Let's go Cattell.
Yeah, let's do it. See what happens here. Prefer Cattell against lefties, but we'll take it. Okay, what were we talking about there? Fuck.
You're talking about how good Sam Olson is at Underdog.
Oh yeah, classic. Yeah, let me just go on for another 3 hours. No, but he finds these little niche avenues on the site. Like, he was in the WNBA streets before everybody had projections and was in the WNBA streets. He was in the NHL streets before everybody else. He would play late slate NBA when the East Coast sickos would just grind all day on the main slate and then shut it down and not play the evening. And just from a game selection standpoint, guys, when everybody's eyes go to football, all of a sudden you look back at baseball and we've lost, some of the A-wins in the lobby. We've lost some of these guys, and the game's kind of, become a little bit more, quote unquote beatable, right? So when other guys zig, it's very intelligent to zag within the site itself here.
Yeah, definitely. If you got the time for it, the the rooms are going to be softer than they've ever been for baseball.
Right. I mean, you're still dealing with the hardos who will be in there, like Car Park and Brad. You know, two through and through baseball guys who know their shit. But yeah.
Yeah, sure. It's not all, you know, unfamiliar faces.
Yeah, exactly. Nez, I don't want to do it again, but shout out to the miso tuna again.
Yeah.
Dropped off 50 subs yesterday. Little love to him. Back-to-back redacted wins. Took down another redacted one last night after winning the Millie on the weekend there. So some love to the community there.
I mean, when you're hot, man. Good Lord.
Nez, what do you think? Perdomo here, or do you like to do one of these pitchers? Do you have a favorite between Schlittler and Sanchez to get ahead of?
Schlittler, I think.
Schlittler. Definitely some big K upside. I see him in Zebby. Like, he's definitely like the Charmander versus, you know, Charizard meme. No, neither of them's Charizard yet, but like Charmeleon in the middle there. Like Zebby Matthews. Zebby Matthews is Charmander and Cam Schlittler's Charmeleon. Like, he's one stage evolved of that right-handed gas throwing potential high strikeout rate right-handed pitcher.
Yeah, Zebby might not even be Charmander, man. Zebby needs to. I don't know what Zebby is, but he needs to string together some decent starts. That's what he needs to do.
Shall we go ahead and add Perdomo here and then fuck around, find out with the last two spots?
Yeah, dude, get Perdomo in here. This is a very fun start.
Yeah, these are the 3 of the top 11 hitters in weighted on base. It's just pretty sick.
And Woba.
Melch saying, I just draft whatever sport you aren't drafting on show. That's probably a pretty good move too.
Come on, you don't want to get in our lobbies? You don't want to see your name on the stream? Come on, dude.
I like it. Interesting. Like, you can never really get like this whole, you know, 4-man stack of a team at Coors. So Chris is just going ahead and doing it before the lineup comes out. I like that play. He's taking Joey Wiemer. Joey Wiemer's got some big time right-handed pop from his Milwaukee Brewers days there. That big fucking open stance, like a Richie Sexton looking motherfucker up there.
I don't like Richie Sexton.
Why not? You didn't like Richie back in the day?
No, he was a Brewer, was he not?
Yeah, he was a Brewer. Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. Nope.
Can't do it.
Don't like my Brewers, man.
You were never a fan of Lyle Overbay?
Former Pirate, so yes.
Oh, okay, nice. I didn't know former Pirate. Okay, so Lyle Overbay is allowed. Oh, man.
I'm looking at game logs. Okay.
Mariners legend, Justin Smoke. Paul's canceled.
I thought Lyle Overbay was a Pirate. I thought he was for like a brief moment.
Yeah.
I guess not.
No. Nez, we got some decisions to make here. We need one outfield spot to be filled prior to Chris. Dude, we could do like a little Devers and Ramos, or we could do like Ramos and Chapman.
Ramos seems good.
Yeah, let's do Ramos and Chapman. Let's play this whole game environment and just take some of those righties who got some juice. You know, Erod can strike out 10 or he can give up 10. Like, he's got that kind of volatility in his profile. We could just go ahead and, you know, Adames is a lefty killer. Flores is a lefty killer. Chapman's a lefty killer.
I like Chapman, I think.
Sounds good to me, dude. You like Chapman more than Devers as well?
Yeah. I can't take Rafi Devers.
Can't do it. Got super hot like 2 weeks ago, and then that's it.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on with him, but I don't want him on my team. Bad for the locker room. But yeah, Oliver Bay was a Pirate in 2011. It was just for like a brief stint. I don't know why I thought it was longer than that.
Love it. 2011. 8 dongs. Nice. Egger says M's are winning the World Series. You're fucking right. They are. I'm getting gassed up for this run.
I got a little something on M's World Series.
My guy.
Some major CLV, not really, but it has improved in my favor.
Nice. Nez, I think that's good. I think we did our due diligence on a fun baseball slate here. 11 games, kind of choose your own adventure. Some decently flat ADPs. I like Milwaukee. Nez likes the Yankees. We both like Arizona. I think Miami is really underpriced, especially some of those righties, and people are scared to click it because they don't know who's going to be in the lineup today. I think Chris did a pretty good job with this. I think Otto Lopez could be in there as well. Mercy's lefty, but he'll probably hit in the middle. Yeah, I think it's a good slate, man. I think you guys should get in on this one.
Yeah, I like that they're expanding the slate, the main slates too, to include every game. That's a good move for end of season for sure.
Absolutely, my friend. I didn't have anything for home runs cooked up right now, but I could just type it in real quick and just see some of those plays that we discussed. If there's anything we like, my eyes would gravitate. Some Arizona, some Giants. I guess we could double back on Ballpark Pal and just see what their home run zone looks like. If Colson Montgomery's getting a good price, I could be in on that. If
I'm always in on Montgomery. Who's he facing?
Brandon Lau would be a pick to click today for me.
Let's find out. Colson Montgomery, he's going to be like sub 2x. Yeah, 1.7.
Okay. How about Connor Norby?
Not up yet.
Yeah, we don't have any Miami stuff up yet. Yeah, because they're afraid of what the lineup could look like. Connor Norby is like low-key my scroll today.
Yeah. I mean, no one's going to be taking him.
You tag Connor Norby. Get it. I'm not seeing many games listed right now.
Yeah, I don't know if maybe like for whatever reason it didn't populate everything for you.
Yeah.
I don't see like Yankees. I don't know why that's happening. Because like there are Aaron Judge home run projections.
Right. Yeah, they just don't all come up when you look up home run. Like it used to give you every single home run when you look up home run.
Yeah, that's
now it kind of gives you like some random assortment.
Yeah, it's got to be a bug.
Yeah.
I guess we can go by game environment.
Let's go to that Arizona one.
Okay.
And we get 3 players. Ketel Marte with a 2.77. It's not crazy.
No, I don't get anything for. I wonder if that's real, or if that's just like the only thing that's showing up. Yeah.
Yeah, you got to type in like every player's names. All right, we're moving on. Let's go talk a little bit of the pennant here.
Okay.
Guys, I think the biggest thing with the pennant that people are going to ask is like, what to do structurally and that sort of thing. I guess I could have just clicked on MLB. Traditionally speaking, it's kind of been like one AL team, one NL team, build an onslaught, and then try and push it through. Those are the teams that have performed the best in the playoffs. They are not the best for advancement purposes, right? And the reason they play so well in the pennant, particularly here, is if you push those onslaughts through, you end up with 1 out of 6, 1 out of 6, and then this 312-seat final. And a 312-seat final for a contest that only features 2 teams in an 11K person contest is a big final. So what has ended up happening in recent years is people build these onslaughts, and then these onslaughts potentially crush in the finals unless the chalk teams that don't play as many games get through. Because unlike football, where everything is one game, one game, one game for the series, you could get a wild card team that plays 3 games and then plays a 5-game series in the quarterfinals, plays 8 games, whereas the Yankees are just sitting there waiting for a bye, or maybe it's Toronto who's sitting there with a bye, and then they end up sweeping the other team and they only play 3 games, right? And the wild card team that plays 8 is worth so much more in accumulating fantasy points than the bye week team that gets 3 games in under their belt. Anything to add there, Nez?
I guess I didn't realize was that always the case that this included the wild card games?
Yeah, it doesn't include the wild card play-in games. It includes the wild card series. So the wild card is now a series of 3 games, because before, when we first started doing this contest, there wasn't any buys. It was a play-in for 1 wild card, and then it was 4 and 4. Now the bracket is expanded.
Oh yeah, damn, man.
Yeah.
God, that's fucking tricky.
Here, I'll show you guys what I mean.
Wow.
Here's a pretty good illustration of it. Yeah. So round 1, 2 out of 3, and then there's round 2, 3 out of 5, and then it switches to 7s and 7s in the third and in the World Series there. So that first round 1 and 2, as it is on my screen right here, I should give it like 100 zooms. This round 1 and 2 is the wild card and the quarterfinals on our site. And then round 2, our advancement structure, is this next series. And then the World Series is that 312 person final.
Yeah, that's really interesting with the wild card.
Yeah.
Because I guess I don't remember that last year. But wow. All right.
Yeah. So if we're going off of like what today looks like, for instance, like this is where we're at today, right? And the combo mapping that you guys got to be cognizant of going forward is overlapping bye teams, because you don't want to have 2 bye teams, because you're going to have nobody to play games for you, basically. But this is all still in flux. Like, take this picture with a big asterisk here. We can look at the standings after the fact, right? Because there's still a way in which, the Mariners don't win the division, and Houston falls out of this because they have head-to-heads left, and also Texas has a head-to-head where like the Rangers could come into this picture, or like the Guardians have like a 10% chance of making the playoffs right now, and they could do it at the expense of either the Yankees or the Red Sox or whichever other AL West team gets in. And the AL West is only represented by like 1 team kind of thing. The Yankees and Blue Jays could flip for the bye. The Tigers and Mariners could flip for the bye. So macro principles are: don't stack 2 teams that play each other in the first round. Probably stack 1 AL team and 1 NL team that can't meet until the finals, right? And if you have to do 3-team builds, build from like a top bracket, a bottom bracket, and then another bottom bracket, which will become easier to do when the picture is more solidified in the future here.
Yeah, well said. I think the only other important thing to note in terms of like macro is being well aware of the starting lineups that you have. So like it's 3 pitchers, 1 outfield, 1 infield, 2 flex. So you can really do some like exploitative stuff here if you have the stones for it, where you really can do like 1 or 2 infield or outfield, and then like, punt and, shoot scatter shots at these other positions for sure. It's way different than than best ball. It's way different than dailies in terms of what we're thinking about for draft capital, but the ADP ends up reflecting that at the same time.
Yeah.
Usually you see pitchers get pretty well pushed up.
Yeah, well said. Henny saying always include a wild card team. Drafting the wild card team that goes far is so important. That's so true, man. We saw this 2 years ago when it was JT McKenzie who won the tournament 2 years ago, if memory serves. And it was Arizona and the Rangers. And both of them were wild card teams on both sides. They both played a shit ton of games, and they just boom, 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 met in the finals. And there was only, forgive me if this is wrong, but I believe there was only like 10 or 11 full stack.
I think it was even less than that.
Yeah, something like that, right? Like there was like 8 or 9 full stacked Arizona and Rangers teams that made the final, and 5 of them finished in the top 10. 4 of them in the top 5 or something.
I'm pretty sure there was only like single digit teams that could field a full starting lineup with those teams.
Right. Exactly. And that's the power of like the onslaughts and making a team correlated bet. And you're not always going to be able to get the GM. Like you're building out Yankees. You're not going to be able to get like, Judge, Stanton, whoever. You're going to have to introduce Jose Caballero as a scroll the F down as the last pick to just hope he gets hot and, leads the AL and steals still in the playoffs kind of deal.
Right. I think an interesting way to think about the pennant, which I never really thought about, but this year I think makes more sense. And I'm probably not the first person to think of this, but I did come on the idea independently, is to just like stack one team like way more. Like usually when we talk about like stacking the World Series, it's usually like 5 and 5. Or no, not 5 and 5, but 6 and 6.
6 and 6. 12 roster spots. Yeah.
Yeah, but like, what if you just took it to an extreme and you basically were trying to start an entire starting lineup of one team in the World Series, and you just find a way to get that team through? I think it's probably bad for first place, but probably decent for EV. Would you agree?
Yeah, I think so. Like if you do like a 7 or 8 build, I think I would cap it at 8. But like, yeah, if you did like 7 of one team and then you did like a 2 and a 3 alongside it, and you do like a 3-team build, you do 7 of the AL, and the AL team pushes through, plays wild card. That's the team you need, goes to the World Series, and then you just have a 2 and a 3 on the other side, or you have like a 1 and a 4 on the other side. So you can for sure field the lineup in the finals, but then you're also making a concerted, concentrated bet in getting there.
Right. Like, yeah, you're like I said, your first place equity probably isn't great, but I do think you're pretty like just having 5 players that are in the World Series in the finals is worth like a couple grand. So not bad.
Right. Yeah. If you're building like a winning portfolio instead of just building a zero-sum portfolio of like a binary outcome, you're either in the finals or you're swept in the first round kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly. This is what, 312 in the finals. You get $75 for getting there. If your team is the one, if you vault yourself up into I think a top 10 finish, depending on what matchup you're doing and how chalky it is, pretty easily that way.
Guys who have been around for a long time are going to be very familiar with Chris's game, aka baseball. Usually comes on the program around this time of the year. He has what we call the definitive #feet. Guys, almost all the information in the world in this pennant sheet here. You can bounce around from the rules to the format to the roster construction stuff, and there's data to go alongside it, advance rate stuff to go alongside it. I think a couple interesting wrinkles just when I was working through this and thinking through this, Nez, is I used to almost always do 4-pitcher builds. I think there is some merit in doing some 5-pitcher builds here and taking some shots at some spot start guys at the back end. I do think there should be a higher premium on pitching, just because the scoring is higher in this format. Like it's like dinger scoring. It's not like our daily format scoring. So like pitchers can really separate, and those front end aces are the most likely to get 2 starts in series compared to other ones and can really separate. Like, like a Tariq Skubal can separate in such a huge way because he could potentially get 2 starts in multiple series, right? Especially if they end up as a wild card team. So just some structural stuff to look through. He has last year's data here, and like 2 teams or 3 teams stacked is kind of like the optimal, but 2 seems to play out the best in terms of like the average return on your investment kind of thing. You can walk through the playoff picture and how it is right now. I was talking about, the teams at the back end that still have a chance. This chart actually doesn't have Arizona. Arizona is only a game and a half back, and they have those head-to-heads with the Giants. So this is actually going to update soon here. Arizona's a little bit closer than you would have thought a couple weeks ago, kind of deal there. And then he's got some interesting charts for stacking, what their current lineups look like, that sort of deal. So this is kind of like the one-size-fits-all cheat code cheat sheet for everyone that I'm going to go ahead and drop in the chat right there. Guys, pay it forward to Chris at Baseball on Twitter there with an E in his name. It's an unbelievable resource if you are playing this contest. So check that out, mess around with it, fuck around, have fun. I can already see that like 5 of you just clicked that link instantly. It's truly the sicko shit here.
It is the goated free resource. I mean, it is unbelievable that he just like does this out of the kindness of his heart. I mean, doesn't ask for anything in return. Just like, here's like the most beautifully formatted sheet you could ask for like the most niche contest that you could possibly play. I mean, talk about love of the game. Just the GOAT, man. And I know Chris works hard with his IRL job, but shout out Chris, just a true legend in the streets, man, and the definition of an OG in the baseball streets as well. So yeah, if I don't know if he has anywhere for tips or anything in here, but yeah, just show Chris some love somehow, some way for this.
Absolutely. I just went ahead and pinned that in the Discord as well for everybody in the baseball thread. So if you lose track of it or you're looking at this later, go ahead and check that out. Nez, without further ado, I think we should try and fill one of these bad boys. We should rip one on the fly. This is my first pennant. I do genuinely love this contest, but we've just been spending so much time on football. And I think we just got to hop in here and see what happens. Do you have any spicy takes for the people kind of based on, what teams currently look like and that sort of deal?
Yeah, I think let me pull up the MLB standings here. One of my biggest stands is I'm never Dodgers here. I'm definitely fading Dodgers. It just feels correct. They're going to be super chalk. I'm just like not a big believer in the current Dodgers. But I don't know. We'll see. That could end up wrong, but I feel like that's a pretty solid fade right now. Let's see here. I need to get back to the MLB view of the playoff standings.
The picture view. This one.
Yeah. There we go. Just right now. Wild card's still like kind of like up in the air.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm always a sucker for the Padres, dude.
Yeah. Bullpen is so good, man.
They're so built for this. Like,
yeah. Nez, we are up here. Aaron Judge goes 1 there based on your suggestion. Dodgers is up next if we wanted to do that. You said never Dodgers.
Never.
Do we believe in Toronto? We could start something out. Do we believe in the Phils? We could take the Phils. Let's try a Schwarber team.
Yeah. Phillies. Like Schwarber's my 102.
Okay, cool. I like it.
Sorry, I got Mello here. Bria had to dip. It's Mello's. Not today, but yesterday was his 6 months. He's 6 months old now.
Wow. He looks like he's got the old Cooper bucket on right there. He's ready to throw mitts. He looks like a young Mark Messier with that lid right now.
Oh, dude, we'd be headbutting all the time. Mello. Whoa, let's go, dude. Yeah, he's ready to suit up, play line for the Giants. I think they said they could use him.
You know who could really use him is the Bengals, man. There are a couple good tweets going around yesterday, just about looking for people to protect Burrow. It's like become like a bit of a bit, and they'll be like, we could find all these people who want to go to war, but we can't find 5 guys to protect Joe Burrow, or like we got 100,000 obese people in this country, or 100 million obese people in this country, and we can't find 5 fat guys to protect Joe Burrow. Like it's such a good meme right now.
Oh man, yeah, no, he needs help bad. He does. It's true.
Damn, Cal Raleigh goes there. I was gonna suggest doing like a little Mariners plus Phillies thing, but I think we're gonna have to find another path there, Nez. What are your thoughts on like building out like a full 6x6, but like omitting the superstar, like omitting Cal Raleigh? Like that feels kind of bad to me, but like certain teams you just have to do it with.
Yeah, I would prefer not to, but I don't think it's like a terrible idea. I would like to go Bryce here. Oh damn, this is a crazy Vlad fall. Riley went American League though.
He went American League. So I think we do Bryce and then see if he passes on the Toronto stuff, and then we just replace my Mariners idea with Toronto idea.
Yeah, that seems I mean that's not going to be common.
No.
For long. Toronto is like the American League favorite right now, I think.
Yeah. They are.
I think I prefer Seattle though.
Yeah, they have the pitching, man.
Yeah, Seattle's got it all.
Yeah. Interesting.
Way more complete team. Oh, damn. Okay.
Yeah, I get it. Respooked goes American League. I mean, this is the epitome of a stay in your lane contest. I don't mind giving up the GM to other people. Like I would have let that go for sure. Do you think Trey Turner's important to this team, or do you think we should go the pitching route? What do you think?
Trey Turner seems awesome, or you can I think Trey Turner is more important. I'm way more focused on like getting the good pieces of our World Series team than I am like, oh, we got to get a balanced, matchup and immediately go get Julio or something. I don't know. Maybe that's wrong.
Okay. Sounds good to me. No, I think it's a evergreen reminder here that in baseball, on any given game, like people can find ways to score for you, right? Now, on a game-to-game basis, it's more likely that you're going to have some random player inserted in your lineup to score. Over a series long, it's more important to secure some of those upside bats, probably, right? Or some of those front-end rotation arms, because it's not as random when you have to play them for 5 games. Could Harrison Bader?
It's a good point.
Could Harrison Bader, be the highest scoring outfielder for the Phils in a round of this contest? Absolutely. But it's way more likely that he could be the highest scoring player in one isolated game than in one elongated sample of a round of this playoffs, right?
Yeah, but it's a good point ultimately that like it doesn't have to be the chalk for a World Series team. Like in the World Series, man, so many random guys step up.
Right. So the only teams not being touched thus far, kind of in the playoff picture, Boston. I think I'd start scrolling here to some Phillies. I don't know, unless you want to take Crochet and build out like Boston on the other side.
Not really. Do we lose any Phillies pitching?
No, we could take Phillies pitching, like just go down to Suarez or Sanchez.
I kind of think so.
Yeah, they lost Wheeler for the year, which really solidifies like the rotation spots. I mean, not that Suarez would have been a fringe guy, but like Suarez and Sanchez are like really fortified if there was like a handedness split.
Yeah, exactly. So they seem good. Those ADPs are they're gonna move pretty quickly, I would think. Like there's no reason for them to be this low.
So we go ahead and add Christopher Sanchez to this as well.
I think so, unless you wanted to, like what else would we do? I guess I like the Sanchez pick. I'm not really giving a shit about ADP here.
Yeah, sounds good to me. Like Houston's really interesting. Because you'd want to start it with Jordan, but he might not be playing baseball. So like building out Phil's right now feels like really strong. I also, one thing you brought up there, Nez, when you were talking about the positional designation thing that I would double down on is like there is room for like only 2 outfielder builds in this, like there's
absolutely
room for only 3 outfielder builds. We used to build so many of these as 4-4-4s.
Yeah.
I think 4-4-4 is wrong.
It is wrong.
Like I think there's room for 2 outfielder or 3 outfield builds, especially when you play your first round pick as like Judge, Ohtani, Schwarber. You just need them to be those guys so that taking another one for your flex scoring, like taking like Brandon Marsh on this team is probably not the sharpest, unless you're doing it straightly for a contrarian purpose.
Yeah, no, we definitely were not thinking about roster construction the right way, I don't think, when we were starting off drafting these games.
Sounds good, my friend. Oh, all right. What else we got here? Is that an Abraham Toro sighting?
Wow.
Mo is cooking.
Wow.
All right. Mo, what are we cooking up, dude?
Dude, and we get the Mets are a wild card team, right? Am I mistaken?
Yeah, they're like
they're a game and a half up on Arizona.
Yeah, like Arizona could knock them out, and they're going in the wrong direction, and Arizona's going in the right direction. It's interesting. Damn, we almost got Crochet to come back and build out some Boston stuff. I don't know, sidekick Mariners or Astros without Jordan.
Mariners?
It feels right, man. Yeah, it feels right.
Shane Bieber's still pitching really well, right? I know he kind of had like a one like shaky start. I know that's not Mariners, but I just saw his name.
Yeah, Bieber's pitching well. He had been pitching really well. Mariners, we've lost Raleigh, Julio, and Wu. I think if we're going to do Mariners here, I think we should add either Suarez or one of the pitchers.
I think one of their pitchers.
Okay, who do you prefer, Gilbert or Kirby?
I think Gilbert. What do you think? You're the M's guy.
Yeah, I think Gilbert's been better, especially at home this season. Strikeout rate looks way better. Kirby, they used to kind of be like a little bit interchangeable in our minds. This season, I don't think it's been particularly close that Gilbert's been better.
That's what I thought, just making sure.
Kirby used to never walk anybody, and now like he sometimes walks guys. Like, you know what I mean? Like his calling card was like, all I do is throw strikes. All I do is throw high fastballs, and I never walk anybody. And now it's kind of like sometimes I don't hit the top of the zone with my fastball, and it gets hit kind of hard. And sometimes I do walk some guys, and now he's like a little bit more normal, I guess.
He did kind of seem like a guy that was like that needed to be perfect to get good results, if that makes sense.
Right. Yeah.
Like the stuff wasn't as good as everybody else's, but he was just so good at executing it that like any sort of wavering in the execution, I think you're seeing the results like that. To me, that makes sense. That's how I always kind of thought about George Kirby.
Right. Yeah. I tend to agree with you, man. Okay. I'm really confused that I missed something. Like the last thing I knew about Abraham Toro was he was designated for assignment by Boston, right?
Uh-huh.
Like, has he signed with San Diego or signed with the Blue Jays? That's what Schmo's implying. Like he signed with the Blue Jays today? Damn, Gino goes there too. I don't think we need
That must have been a bad auto or something.
It must have been an auto. What about your boy Naylor? Good Canadian kid here.
I love Naylor. Yeah, we got a Seattle bet going.
Yeah, Jorge Polanco's been fucking on fire too.
From both sides of the plate, or
no, never, just from one. The Aussie Albies of my generation. Oh,
buddy, come on.
Phillies, we could do like Real Muto, Bohm, Bader.
Let's do Stott, man.
Stott?
Stott was on the winning dinger lineup.
All right, let's do it. Stott's a little buried in the lineup these days, but maybe he gets that top of the lineup spot back against righties in the future.
Yeah, I like against righties in the playoffs. He's gonna be that guy.
Gonna be leading off. He was queuing Toronto. And then he misclicked the dude because T-O-R. Oh, man, that's good.
You needed one more letter in the query.
There we go. That makes sense. That's funny.
That's like whenever it's gauntlet season and you're trying to search for Eagles and then there's Brendan Eagles in the goddamn player pool. Like, get this dude out of here.
That's funny.
At least change his name to like Brendan Seahawks. That way we know we're never going to look for him.
Nice. Good work. Good work. That's funny. Joseph saying Astros pitching could get weird with Frammer melting down. That's true.
Hey.
I mean, everything.
Dude, what a weird situation that is.
Dude, the Astros have the same vibes right now. Astros have the same vibes right now as the Miami Dolphins right now.
Yeah, which is insane because they're a playoff team.
Right. Like, they just have that kind of vibes. Like, Mets have those kind of vibes, too, right now. Nez, we got 3 spots left. I think one should probably be Castillo and kind of, like, build out a little bit more balanced. But if you want to go on-slot Phillies, we could do Nola as well.
Oh, I don't like Aaron Nola very much.
You like Luis Castillo more? Did Luis Castillo go? Oh, he went.
I guess it'll have to be Nola then, right? I don't know who's the 5th starter for. I'd have to look at.
It would be Bryce Miller. Bryce Miller could be like a little bit of contrarian leverage there for your Seattle teams.
Yeah, I couldn't tell you how he's doing lately.
He's probably better than Luis Castillo. He just took a little bit longer to get there because he wasn't healthy. He was on the IL, and then it was like a little bit of a buildup. 4-4, only 2 outfielders. We could probably use a 3rd outfielder, which would be probably Victor Robles or Jorge Polanco if we go the Mariners route.
I like the Polanco shout.
Yeah, I kind of like doing the infielder thing too because so much of this team's just riding on Schwarber being a dog. And then like we could also do Harrison Bader with the last one. You could also do Nick Castellanos. Yeah.
Castellanos or Real Muto seem like risers.
Castellanos or Realmuto. Okay. Realmuto,
risers.
I think we probably need outfield. We got 4-5-2 right now.
6 might be a bit much.
6 might be overkill, even with the flex. Yeah, Max Kepler, some good left-handed power, hits like 6th or 7th when they're facing a righty.
Bader might be an interesting one, dude.
He's leading off every day now, dude. Both lefties and righties. It's fun.
That's crazy. I didn't know that.
JP Crawford and Xander Bogaerts for him to build out his 2-team San Diego. So, like, guys, this is kind of like the macro here is when you're in a smart room. I will say this is a tag the Discord style contest. Just in terms of like hey, help me fill a room, because filling a room with sharp drafters is better, you know? Nez, I'll let you choose between scroll the F downs, either Kepler, Bader, or Victor Robles, who's been playing right field since returning.
Bader
it is. Harrison Bader, that's my guy. Yeah, because you want to have a room where everyone understands what's going on and stays in their lane, because that's how you build kind of the best 6x6s and that sort of thing. But yeah, fun stuff. Everybody kind of stays in their lane. We see a Detroit plus Chicago team. We see a Toronto plus San Diego plus Abraham Toro team. We see a Seattle plus San Diego team. We see Seattle plus Philadelphia. And then we see New York plus Milwaukee with a sprinkle of Houston pitching and a sprinkle of Toronto 2-man. So kind of like onslaught Yankees and then another little, sprinklings in there. Yeah, fun stuff, guys. This is a really fun contest. 10K to first, 11K entries. Your baseball playoffs built different. Even if you are a football guy or a football only majority of the time guy, hop in these baseball contests, because you're going to want that sweat in the postseason, because postseason baseball, it's going to be on all day. You're going to be at work. You're going to have the Badge Bros on one TV. You're going to have the ball game on the other. You're going to have your fake spreadsheet that you're pretending to work from in the middle screen. And you're going to want to have a little bit of baseball sweat as we talk a little bit of postseason baseball. Nez, your boy, has a heart out here, and you are, by the looks of it, on full-fledged father duty right now. Guys, we'll be back tomorrow, 2 p.m. Eastern, for the definitive Battle Royale and Dog Bowl preview. Then we'll have Primetime Palooza on Thursday, and then we will have on Friday Off and On the Clock and Nose Strip Nez. Yeah, going to be a loaded week, rest of the week here. Nez, any parting words for the people?
No, nothing for me, man. I'll be in those Dog Bowl streets all week long. Looking forward to our preview show tomorrow. It's a goofy slate for the NFL. I think it's very ambiguous. It'll be a lot of fun to talk about.
Awesome, dude. Yeah, look forward to that. I've not been in the streets just yet. Did all the Primetime Palooza stuff yesterday. Got some real life commitments, so we're going to break it all down tomorrow. I'll get some more in tonight and tomorrow there. All right. On behalf of myself, Nez, and the good people at Underdog, everybody's favorite time on the show, the end. Peace. New contest stuff is in the masterclass.